Live from the Triangle, this is WNCN News at 11.
God bless America.
Right now on WNCN, the historic papal visit continues. The locals who witness history today and the students getting the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity this weekend.
And a police chase turns fatal. What investigators say happened in the moments leading up to this horrific scene. Plus,
it's just bad, I think.
This costume turning a lot of heads right here in the Triangle. What happened when we contacted the store owner and if they'll stay on the shelves? Good evening, I'm Sharon Taswell.
And I'm Sean Maroney. Thanks for joining us. We have a lot to get to tonight. We start now with the weather. As you can see, a very active radar right now.
Chief Meteorologist Wes Hohenstein here now with the impact this will have on your Friday. Wes.
Yeah, earlier this week, guys, we had highs close to 90. It's been a cloudy week, and now those clouds are raining on us. Scattered light to moderate showers moving across a good portion of central North Carolina. Notice they're coming from the southeast, moving off to the northwest. This is all part of a giant circulation around an area of low pressure that will meander around the Carolinas for the next couple of days. So rain we see right now continues farther to our southeast, and that will move through, continuing in the overnight hours and lasting through your morning commute. So it's going to be both a wet start and a wet finish to Friday. High pressure has shifted around, which is allowing this area of low pressure to now move back to us after sitting offshore all week. And coming with it is plenty of rain. The good news, we don't expect severe rain. Shouldn't be enough to cause flooding problems, but some much needed rain for our drought could amount to 1 to 2 inches by the time it's all said and done this weekend. So a wet start, a cloudy and breezy day. Temperatures that start in the low 60s might not get out of the 60s for some of us as we top out around 70. And as I said, a wet finish for school and work tomorrow. Make sure you have your umbrella. We'll talk about when all this moves out coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Wes, look forward to it. And remember, you can track changes to the forecast at any time on your WNCN News app, available for iPhone and Android. And tonight, Pope Francis is settling into the Big Apple.
Just a few hours ago, he presided over an evening prayer service in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. It's the second stop on the Pontiff's U.S. tour. This was the scene just a few hours ago. Thousands cheering his arrival. Earlier in the day, he addressed a joint session of Congress, a first for a pope. He touched on a hotbed of issues, including at one point urging Americans to offer more help for immigrants.
Not to turn their back on our neighbors and everything around us.
After addressing Congress, Pope Francis blessed thousands of spectators on the National Mall before leaving for New York. And many people from my area have been traveling north to see the Pope. It's an opportunity they may never get again in their lives.
Raleigh Mayor Nancy McFarland and her Durham counterpart Bill Bell were on that short list. And new tonight, WNCN's Michael Hyland talked with Mayor Bell about the impact of the Pope's visit. Michael?
Yeah, Pope Francis has been talking a lot about caring for the poor, and Mayor Bell says the Pope brings credibility to that mission. It's one he says should get a lot more focus.
God bless America.
While millions have watched on TV, some watched from just a few feet away.
I've been in Washington many times, but there was a lot of electricity in there. I mean, it really was.
Durham Mayor Bill Bell got an invitation from the White House to witness history. He traveled to D.C. along with Raleigh Mayor Nancy McFarland to see Pope Francis on the South Lawn Wednesday morning.
He's a very magnetic personality, and when you couple that with what he says and how he says it and the subjects he chooses, it just sort of ingratiates yourself to him.
Bell says he was struck by the Pope's attention to poverty, reinforcing the challenges of dealing with that back home in Durham.
When you talk about dealing with the poor is all around, and in every country, every place, every home in the city. So I think people can identify with that, but to have it coming from his level, it just gives it a lot more importance.
But the trip wasn't just about pomp and parades. Bell spent some time meeting with administration officials about the president's initiative called My Brother's Keeper. Durham County is a part of that, with the goal of helping young men, particularly African Americans and Latinos, to get better educational opportunities. Mayor Bell says in many ways the Pope reinforced the purpose and mission of that program.
In a way, that's what he was saying. You know, we really are brothers' keepers, our sisters' keepers. We need to look out for the least of us.
And Mayor Bell compared the atmosphere in D.C. to what it was like in 2009 during President Obama's inauguration. The mayor isn't Catholic, but he says the Pope is excelling at focusing on issues of relevance in today's society. He says that's getting the attention of a lot of non-Catholics like himself. Sean?
All right, Michael Hyland reporting. Michael, thank you. Elected officials are not the only ones traveling with the Pope. Some students at Cardinal Gibbons High will see the pontiff in Philadelphia this weekend. They'll join more than 1 million others for a mass at the Festival of Families. Those lucky students say they know that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It's like history is being made up in Philly. The Pope's coming there.
Oh, I'm definitely excited. I can't wait, honestly. I told my friends that I don't think I'm going to sleep the bus ride there. It's like 7 hours. There's no way I'm sleeping that ride there.
Those students also say they follow the Pope on his Instagram and Twitter accounts. And you can find much more on the Pope's visit to the United States on a special section of our homepage, WNCN.com. There you'll find web extras as well, including a special gift for the Pope that was made right here in North Carolina.
New information tonight about a fiery crash involving a charter bus and a duck tour van. You can see just how bad this is. Tonight we know the 4 people killed were international students. And Seattle's mayor says 12 others were injured. We don't know yet if they're students. And this rescue made that much more difficult by a widespread debris field.
Some of the challenges is just the pure immensity of the incident and the amount of people that need our help simultaneously.
This is the second crash involving a duck boat in Seattle since July. Also new tonight, police in Durham say a passenger in a car who attempted to flee police died after the car crashed into the woods. This happened just after 4 o'clock this afternoon near the residence inn on Highway 54. Police say they tried to pull over a driver who was speeding. Well, the driver sped away and crashed into the woods. The passenger died, and the driver is recovering in the hospital with serious injuries.
Also new tonight, a second arrest in the shooting at the Walmart parking lot in Briar Creek. Raleigh police tell us they took this man, 24-year-old Anthony Carrington, into custody tonight. Police believe he was one of the suspects who left the scene after 39-year-old Jerry Sumter was shot and killed in the parking lot last Thursday night. Police arrested another suspect earlier this week. A manhunt is still underway tonight for the 16-year-old investigators say shot and killed a well-known DJ. Police say 16-year-old Tavon Davis shot Marcus Murchison at a home in Sanford last night. He was taken to UNC hospitals where he later died.
He'd give you the shirt off his back, whatever he could possibly do for you, he'd do it for you. Anytime he came into a place where you were at, you knew it was always love with him.
Murchison's girlfriend, who was also in the home, helped police identify the suspect, who is a known acquaintance. If you have any information, please call police. WNCN Investigates looked into Davis's background. Police arrested the 16-year-old back in May on charges of assault with a deadly weapon with the intent to kill and possession of a handgun by a minor. Also in late June, police investigated Davis for stealing a handgun.
The Raleigh man charged with trying to drown his 3 children will face a judge tomorrow morning. Durham police upgraded one of the charges against Alan Lassiter to murder after his 3-year-old daughter died. The other 2 children survived. Now, along with the murder charge, Lassiter is facing 2 attempted murder charges. Also in Durham, a shooting investigation, now a homicide after this man died from his injuries. Police say someone shot Dwight Grayer at an intersection on North Duke Street back in January. Grayer died from his injuries. No arrests have been made. Police are actively looking for leads. New tonight, police in Fayetteville arrested the man they say robbed a sub shop and ran to a college campus. 19-year-old Ian Kirk is in custody tonight. Police say he walked into the Baldino shop around 10:30 last night, demanded cash, and ran toward the campus of Fayetteville Tech. A security guard there then helped police track him down.
Fire investigators in Moore County are still trying to figure out what sparked an overnight fire that left a person dead. They tell us the fire appears to have started in the kitchen. It took crews from 6 stations to bring the fire under control. Still no word on the victim's identity. Classes are expected to be back to normal tomorrow morning in Cary after 4 schools lost power this morning. Panther Creek High, Green Hope Elementary, and Carpenter Elementary all affected by this outage for much of the morning. Nearby construction is to blame for the outage.
Well, the rain not stopping several local CEOs and executives from spending the night outside. The annual United Way of the Greater Triangle event is designed to draw awareness to homelessness, child poverty, and also hunger.
None of us are delusional to think that one night out in roughing it for one night is anything like people that are actually homeless. But what it does do is it gives people a taste of what it's like to be not in their own bed.
Tonight's event at Midtown Park in North Hills just getting underway. It's the second of 2 events being held this month. The first was in Durham. And the former Dorothea Dix Hospital is getting some unwanted attention tonight.
And it's all spiraling from a Halloween costume starting to pop up at stores around the Triangle.
We don't like people
wearing these stigmatizing costumes.
Well, we tracked down when we went into one of these stores and what the owner had to say to us when we confronted him.
Plus, who could forget this class act? We introduced you to Joanna earlier this summer. What Ellen surprised her with on today's show.
And it doesn't very often rain all day around here. Tomorrow we will come close. Coming up in your forecast, we'll talk about if the weekend gets any better when WNCN News at 11 returns.